This is officially a weird game. Mongols in the pocketed position of a 2v2 pro series. One and all, welcome back to Age of Empires for action. We have got Puppy Paw and Corvinus going up against Zertin and Wham. That's right, the Canadian bros are clashing, and so are the Europeans on the side. Really cool one here from the top team gamer tournament that just ran on the weekend. This was the group stage where players cycle around and play with all the other players, and then the ones with the best scores and wins overall will proceed through to the playoffs. Puppy Paw is going to be on the HRE. Corvinus is going to be back here in the blank on the Mongols in the teal. North side, Zern is going to be frontlining with the Rus, and then you're going to have Wham behind him with the Malians. There's a lot of peculiar things going on here, actually, folks. Usually, you'd expect the Malian player to be on the forward position. So, the Mongol player to be on the forward position so they can aggro harder. You would also expect the Rus player to be on the backside because he builds cav. For those that haven't played Gorge before, the standard meta is that your boomer slash aggro civ, as in, oh sorry, put it another way, boomer slash cav civ is in the retracted position because they can get to the front line quicker with cav, and they're also insulated to be more greedy. Having a Mongol player here, but an HRE player here is kind of polarizing. I'm a little bit surprised they went with this. I don't know if the idea is trade, that is potential in the menu, but trade against cav-based civs is dangerous anyway, and Gorge is very open on 2v2s. I think what might be happening here is that simply Corvinus wants to play Mass Keshiks, so he's filling the cav role. And Puppy Paw now has the flexibility to either be the aggro party with HRE marching drills, or he can rush castle if he sees no signs of aggression into Regnants. Other side of this, the reason why Wham took the back position is because I believe the goal here for the north side team is to have Wham focus on booming up with cattle, and then Zertin feels like he can hold back the front line with Kremlin power. Remember, Kremlin is a very, very powerful defense. In fact, the stats, the DPS output on a Kremlin puts it more in line, more close to a Castle Age defense than a Feudal Age defense. It's that good. But this should be a pretty close match, right? I think Zertin and Corvinus are kind of... They're in the same woods. I would give Zertin an edge. I think Zertin is a little bit more capable of a player right now in the current meta. Corvinus always has some crafty strats, though, which is why I'd say they're pretty even. Right? You might see something unorthodox or unexpected out of this lad. We already saw it once in the tournament when they played on Migration with a very intriguing idea about a Sacred Site all-in build. That should appear on my YouTube channel later, so check it out if you haven't already. But Kremlin is going to be dropped as expected. Looks like it's going to be very greedy from Zertin, though. And okay, there's no way, right? Maybe with the spears. Oh my god, Zertin, look at this. Like, no freaking way are you doing this to me. Not today. 12 villagers in to rush the landmark. That is absurd. He has to do this though, right? The reason is because Corvinus brought 2 villagers for the outpost rush up. However, if this Kremlin goes up just 5 seconds earlier, it will kill quick enough, courtesy of the castle turrets and the rapid attack speed. Like, yeah, Corv needs to back away, dude. This is going to fail. This is 100% going to fail. Villagers will be able to garrison in. He should be able to get 2 kills right now. Khan goes down. Villager, what? Oh my god. Corvinus, by some miracle, gets the outpost up. That first shot under the Khan, I think, baited Zertin there. That was a big mistake. Killing the Khan first, I think, is the reason that outpost went up. Remember, the Kremlin has an insane attack speed, 1.12 seconds. The Great Khan gives his life so that Zertin can't afford to buy a wife. He can't get the ridiculous eco here. He's not going to be able to get the second TC. He's not going to be able to bulk up like you normally see out of Rus. However, with that in mind, kind of an awkward situation to potentially get away with the villagers. Corv is going to try to get crafty with a micro to keep the outpost repaired. But these villagers realistically should not be getting out of here. Unless... What a sick play. Puppy Paw tanks the arrows. Both villagers make it out. Damn, this is wild. Zertin has to change his entire game plan now. Because remember, Wham's goal is just to be greedy behind this. But now, with what Corvinus has done there, Zertin might lack the inflation of his own eco. Because his whole idea was to kind of hunker down. I think they were looking for a condensed double greed approach into delayed attack. Now, Zertin has to flip the script and go on the offensive, which leans into what I think Puppy Paw and Corv wanted here. You know, HRE marching or Spearman, very quick to gap close. And then, of course, the Keshik play. If you get the numbers right, you can easily overwhelm Night Spam from Rus. This is a damn cool game. I'm going to hit the speed up a little bit on this early game, right? Because I think this is going to be delayed aggression. Stables has come in, so Knights are going to start getting spammed. This outpost is going to last a long time. This outpost is going to last about... What was it? It would be, I think, about 600 seconds. 550 seconds, maybe? It's almost 10 minutes. Because remember... Actually, no, sorry. It's longer than 1.12. Yeah, so it'll last more than 600 seconds. Oh, boy. He's going to have to address that sooner rather than later. Luckily for him, the gold always spawns between the two players. Remember, in a 2v2, it's always a fat 8k vein between the two of you. Really nice for Malians, actually, as you're seeing here. Just guarantees you get a very safe, fat pit mine. Yes, you miss out on one or two houses due to the fact you need mining camps, but overall, it's better than a standard one here. You can see at 122 gold. Usually, it's about 108. So, Regnet's on the way. It's going to be fast caster build after all. Knight count is not that scary, right? Like, Zertan, he lost a lot of efficiency when he had to rush up with, what was it, 12 in the Kremlin? And then because his original attempt was to go stone, I think he had additional wood that he was holding on to. He's trying to make up for it now with the double Knight spam. Kind of curious to see what's happening on the other side. Instead of being Keshix, it looks like Corvinus has accepted he just needs to go spears. This is really nice, though. I think Deerstone is really underrated in these situations. Silver Tree is way too greedy. Your opponent has Knights. We mentioned that already. By having Deerstone instead, it makes it very difficult for these Knights to ever snipe eco as well. Your movement speed is just absurd with this buff. You already got 1.29. He adds Wheelbarrow in. All of a sudden, you're zooming around your TC. Notice that Wham is still not participating. He's trying to change that now, though. We have got Musafadi being built into. This is a prep for the tech up there, right? He doesn't want to take a fight with the Musafadi before Castle Age. This is an anticipation of heavy cav and heavy infantry coming out of Puppy Pool. Nice block on the wall, though. Second prelate on the way. Wait, what? Overly ambitious Puppy Paw gets caught out being greedy. Nice moves there by Zertan. So double strike, double prelate kill. Remember, they're 100 gold each, so even if you lost one knight, it about balances out. Instead, both of them still very healthy. Both of them were very healthy. No. You should survive this trade, right? It's just, you're not going to feel good about it. Oh my god, I can't actually believe how uncomfortably close that was. Both players distracted, though, because they were having that fight on the north side. Looks like we have got Puppy Paw now riding in with the heavy knights. Musafadi are starting to counter out. Wooded Fortress is coming up to defend from Zertan. Starting to feel a little bit of pain. We've even got scouts now hitting the pit mine on the north side just to draw more attention. And if they don't get that attention, this is a very big kill. Think about the distance that Wham has to go to build it again. This is the distance. That is absurd. This is also why I'm not the craziest fan of Malians. I wouldn't rate them like top 5 on this map in 1v1s or team games. I mentioned the pit mine starter is good, but outside that, the extra pit mines are just so far away. Like, look at the distance he has to go for any of them. Even in 1v1s, I always just feel like Malians get stuck on one pit mine. It can kind of work because you just rush your Castle Age anyway, and you just get the flood with food. But there's still much better civs to pick on that map. Knight's now reacting. Remember, Zertan is only age 2, so he can't afford to take these fights against Puppy Paw. Puppy Paw is starting to creep back those relics. First one, home. Second one will not be grabbed. That was a smart move. Puppy Paw backs off. The scout did sniff him. However, with Knights now arriving, Zertan can't really invest quick enough to deny this anymore. And yeah, this could be free sheep for HRE, but I don't think it is, right? Oh, it is. Oh, that's sick. Good eyes. That's really cool. I wondered if some of them were going to be going to him, but they're all actually just going to his teammate. That's a really cool build. This is kind of like when we watch players use a Civ to sling deer, right? With the Pro Scouts. It's really powerful because HRE get the 40% buff, so it's well and truly worth doing. And it fits with what Corvinus' role is. Mongols are a support Civ. I've said this time and time again, and I stand by it. Like, out of all the Civs in the game, they're probably the most support-focused Civ that exists. For multiple reasons. The pastures are sick because you can give food across your allies. You've got the buffs with the Khan. You've got the Kurultai buff as well. There's a lot of things that just complement other Civs. It's not often that Mongols look good in 2v2s though, right? Usually having a support player makes more sense in 3v3s. In a 2v2, that's half your military power just gone. In a team game, a 3v3 or 4v4, that's a third or a quarter of your military power gone to buff the rest. No, they only nerfed Cow Slinging. Cow Slinging was the nerfed thing. So sheep should just still be the same. Because Cowslinging was breaking team games entirely. Malians were just the most optimal pick, no matter the comp. Knight numbers looking good, though. You're seeing how those sheep are paying off. 13 knights already. Donzo's trying to protect, but Wham's still an age behind. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, it is all on Puppy Paw to dominate these fights. Spearmen are here to assist, but they really aren't the game changer. Are at least able to hold back the knights initially. Gives them the cleanup against the Donzos. Can't. Hasn't really got anything to contribute here, right? Like, you haven't got ranged units. Until we get Age 3 out of Corvinus, there's no defense arrow, which would have been the Ballbuster. Instead, the kick to the teeth is coming. Wham, now with the Fulani Corral on the way. Wolves starting to also go up. This is another power play for the Zert and Roos in these games, right? Like, Roos just have much better palisades. So if you can get them online, you can actually stop floods for quite a long time. Long enough to usually react. Oh. He's going to go in again. Big mistake made there. I think he's jumped the gun. Split and go around the flanks or just don't bother. Like, this is not the time to dent the main fight. Like I said, they're going to try it again. It's almost like they just don't trust that Wham's got enough firepower behind this, but, you know, at this stage, you should trust that most of the cows are down if the tech up wasn't on the way, and Donzos are quite affordable to spam. Finally, he accepts it. It's going to be a flank attack now. Behind this, Puppy Paw now up to 3 relics. 4th one coming in. This is big. This is actually scary. Remember, this is unlimited slingdom, right? He's got the pastures forever. Even now adding in the farms, this is really important because at some point, Corvinus needs his economy back. Knights instead are actually going to go after the houses near the pit mine. I think his goal here is just to pick relics, and he's drawing a lot of attention, right? There's no other reason you'd head up here with 4 knights, 5 knights that is, unless it was just to buy time. So probably looking at a transition behind this. Time being, it is more stables, but there's the racks as I was expecting. Corvin, Zerton. Who's going to be teching up next? Well, Zerton's apparently ready. And it is going to be High Trade House in the corner. Other side, right? Yeah, this side's better. Because he's been chopping to the right side slightly. Get your numbers in. I don't think it should be too crazy. He has got tier 2 bounty at least, so probably a respectable one. Something like 124, maybe? 136? I wonder, does Puppy Paw just try to age up again? Probably feels too greedy. Meanwhile, Corvinus is actually adding in more army, so not taking up himself. There's a lot of archers on the way. Why not go Burgrave and end the game? Good question. Multiple reasons, actually. Like, spamming Burgrave into a Musafadi defense feels bad, because they can actually beat the men-at-arms. The other problem is you have to go through the Kremlin on the ford. I think that's what was making him hesitate. So, like, you know, Regnitz feels a lot safer because there's so many relics on the map. Burgrave is what you do when you have a specific timing where you can't win the late game. HRE Mongols isn't a bad comp against Malian Rus in the Hyper Late. I'd say Mongols in team games feels a bit better than Malians in the Hyper Late because they have the Kurultai buff, which is incredible, and then they also have cannon emplacements. They have another few things going their way, such as shutter triggers. It's like Hyper Late isn't scary for Puppy Paw and Corvinus if they get there, because actually the anti-siege detail of the Mongols counters the Rus entirely. And that means you can then just build mangoes against Streltsy. So yeah, that's the way you assess this. If you think you need Burgrave, you need to be like, okay, can I handle hyper late game? And if the answer is no, then Burgrave feels a lot better. Army's about even in this game. Prelate is going to try to sneak home. Unfortunately, that is not going to work out here. Oh, the wall. Zerton kind of griefing himself a little, but that relic will be blocked in the end. Puppy Paw, just a little bit too much greed here. He did get a 5th though, right? No, that's his 4th. And Korv looks so pathetically small in this game, right? Look at the gold. Puppy Paw queuing up Mass Lansk. Really smart. When you're playing against Malians, this is the correct call. Because when they go Musafadi like this, you just wipe them. Musafadi Donzo loses to Mass Lansk. And if you look at the comp, Zerton isn't really providing a solution right now. Like, Knights in theory, yes, but you don't have enough yet. So Lance deck are completely uncounted in the current state of the game. Yeah, Wham needs to switch into Archers ASAP. High Trade House was 143 in the end, so a little bit better than we were expecting. What do we say? Did we say 136, I think? Right, raid on the backside. Donzo's to defend here, or rather spears. Instead, it's going to be a commitment in. So this is going to turn into a trade, right? They need to find the economy of the east side team. Because right now, the raids are hurting. Wooden Fortress is just being burnt down as they go. Don't want to get any backstabs coming from Springalds. Now this is interesting. If you can bait a fight and you peel, Lance come in behind and they wipe this. In fact, all them swing the sword once, all this goes down. TC a little bit of a problem. They could actually burn the cattle here. Who likes a barbecue? Time to get some beef. Khan goes in. Big mistake there, though. Did at least use the arrow. Speed arrow engaged. Lance going in now. Health bar's likely to deplete quite quickly here. Lance neck not getting the best of formations just yet, but the follow-up is good. Spearman falling way too fast against this. Gonzo count at 12. Knight count is higher. They need to get more to defend against this. The archers are also trading out phenomenally well here against the light infantry. The sofas are now arriving, so some damage should be done, but Wham should have enough to stabilize this. Damn, that was close to a catastrophe. If that arrow didn't come out, I think the spread is a little bit too choked, and you just don't see the Landsneck take over the fight. But credit to them. Wham and Zertan able to hold and push this away, and it doesn't cost them any cattle. New wave is on the way, though. And ooh, you're starting to see the damage the Lance can do if they find a target. This is wild. Puppy Ball is just keeping the pump going. And this is a combo of all the relics he got and also all those pastures that were pumping for him, right? It's just enabled this build. Because remember, Landsneck are not cheap. Very expensive unit. Like, look at this here. This is absurd. 60 food and then 100 gold. Then the 120, 120 on Knights. This is not a cheap composition. Yeah, maybe the cows are just doing more than grazing. Maybe they now like human. You ever think about that? What if all that fighting on cow ranches just leads them to actually get a taste for our blood? Cow pies? Vam cows? It's all possible. I'm wondering if Imp is possible soon. Puppy Paw. I guess they need a decisive win in a fight before he considers Imp. The problem now is Landsneck do start to get countered a bit by sofas as they mass. That's why the Knights are still handy. I think the Spearman is really the saving grace from Corvinus, but really Corv needs to find that tech. If he can get into Castle Age here, Kurultai breaks these fights. Because then instead of going for the cows on the back, you can start to just push into the front. Sorry, are you suggesting that the Meditation Garden nerf onto the cow? What's the effect there? Are we just saying the cows feel deeply disturbed by their grazing being interrupted? You have to send in a counselor? Oh god, I can't. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, I need a cringe noise actually when I make this. Yeah, you have to send in a counselor to console the cows. Pass the swiper on the way, so Puppy Ball does trigger it. A little bit ballsy. I thought maybe he'd wait a bit longer, maybe try to do some more damage, but kind of makes sense, right? Like, over time, Lance are going to get countered by the Sofa. Sofa and Knights, actually, at that. Remember, your Knights is the HRE just worse, right? As you scale deeper into Castle, the Roost ones will be better because of Boy's Fortitude. What was the final relic call, actually? Because presumably one of them went for them. Oh no, they're still here. So that's intriguing. Was that a total of 4 relics only? A little bit underwhelming here. 2 of them are blocked out on the flank. It looks like we have got Wham grabbing them now, though. Now remember, guys, despite the age difference, technically, both of these sides are perfectly balanced. Ah, and Zertan is now going for relics. Kind of interesting that both players done it. I'm not the biggest fan when I see that. Unless the goal is to give Wham the relics, in which case Zertan is just the courier, right? But if Zertan wants them for himself, Wham probably shouldn't have been going for them. Is it me or was the connection point and Lance kind of delayed? That first strike Like, it didn't hit until after he rewinded. Like, you know, he came back to the neutral stance. Kind of weird. Looked like acting. There, here we go, guys. This is the big scary thing I was talking about. Mongols at this stage, Kurotai. This is huge. Like, the buff that this gives for Landsnecht is insane. This is a unit that already has 17 base damage. You add in another 20% to that, you're past 20 per slice. And you're healing in fights. It's wild. But out of the wilderness comes this wham with the creep in. Problematic as well because Puppy Paw and Corvinus have no way of knowing. There was never a wall on the west side. This could hit hard. They're out of position as well. Tech up complete. The dive is going to come in. The Knights are at least going to reveal it a little bit early here. But Corvinus is now in trouble. No reaction yet. Do they realize it? They do. They're on the way home now. And Corv just needs to get the hell out of dodge. Deerstone coming in clutch here. 1.5 movement speed to get out of the way. However, his tree line might not be so lucky. They haven't checked it yet. They don't know. Instead, they back out. Death dodged. They need to get out fast, though. The Elite Knights are coming. Substantially stronger. They even have the inspired tech. Extra damage, extra armor. Hard to fight up against. He's trying to force the fight. Spearmen archers are getting in position to cut off the retreat. I have a feeling that Wham is just going to have to split the army and get the trades he can. Unfortunately, with this many Landsnecht coming, that's 37 Lansk. If they touch, it will be an immediate wipe. Just a little tip, just a tiny tickle. Surround coming in. Corvinus trying to cut off the retreat. Can't quite get in front of it. Remember, the Musafadi move at the same speed, but Donzo is slowing the formation. They need to reach a wall and get out, but they're paying a price. Retreat is going to cost them dearly. Knights, in the meantime, do dive into the main of Puppy Paw, but with Palace Swabia, this damage is superficial. Wow, definitely feeling the pain while teching behind this of these losses. Will at least get out with the majority of the sofa and over half of the mass that he was blobbing. Maybe. Kind of. Not entirely. Body blocks allow the catch up. Damn, I can't believe he got away with that. Corvin is so close to cutting off the retreat. Burnfruit's going to come in fast, though. Thought the Huntress is being rushed up. Wait, rushed up? I mean, kind of. Wait, no. Okay, wait. They realize there's a bait. I mean, it has to be, right? And no, Wham has to cancel. This is big. Need to be careful on this chase on the back by Wham. Landsnecht turn around for a second. It's going to be a wipe. Instead, Corvinus deals with it. And the assault continues. Tech up now needs to be reset and done again. Wham! Pulling more villages this time. 21. This game's getting wild. The blob is marching. More villages across. 38 now to get the tech. And it looks like this might be good enough. Now remember, I think he did cancel it just before they saw it, but they did glimpse the ruin afterwards. So they are looking for that landmark. That slowdown by Puppy Paw may have just saved Wham, though. He gets up. Hero now in. However, with this many torches and a Kurotai, folks, guess what? Me yummy, me like much. Is he just going to park it here? This is so deep. Mango's trying to defend. Cleave's coming in big, though. Frontline gone. Knights chasing the back. Mango's have to retreat. They can't turn around for a shot at all. The Kurotai is just kind of pointless here. Hasn't been able to just unpack once. Lance now getting hit, though. An overextension, and now the choke point works against them. Mango defends to wipe out the Lansk. That should be enough to keep them in this game. Barely. So close to getting the wipe. The Kurotai never once able to join the party here. Puppy Paw and Corvinus have both suffered a blow here, folks. 107 eco to 134. There have been losses mounting in this game, and they continue to do so, certain, on the back of Corvinus' base. Corv now down to 50 eco. This is out of control, man. Wham, up at 65. This Kurotai, at risk of being thrown to the wolves, he needs to get it out now. At this point, he truly is a support player. Puppy Paw Down to 53 eco as well on a Palace of Swabia build. I can't believe this, man. They were going for a killing blow, but they weren't respecting the Night Raid. Zerton has been consistently hitting those backlines, and it has paid off. We have a crazy game now. This game looked like it was just going to be a one-sided stomp, right? A breach and a clear by Poppypaw and Corvinus. But now nothing about it is clear. Poppypaw does at least have safe gold gathering on the flank now with the keep drop, but they have bigger problems. Zerton's on 2 TC. I think he's prepping himself for a farm transition into Imperial. Unbelievable. Corvinus does at least keep this alive. This is critical. If this Kurotai went down, he is a useless player. He has nothing to contribute. This at least still gives him the aura, which is a big deal. Wow, look at this for a big deal. Zerton sent 1,000 food. They are looking for Imperial. Another wave coming in from Puppy. I can't believe this, man. It's sofas or knights every time, though. Corvinus. 48 economy. 3/4 of his economy is on this tree line. It's making him a little bit predictable. Also, big blunder here. Never got an outpost for early warning and also the aura. There's been no Yam effect, so inefficiency there, but also an inability to run away. Good lord. Yeah, Corvinus is in desperation town here. Poppypaw just sent him everything he needs to go Karnat Palace. Karnat's pretty cool here, right? Like, the logic is that you don't get any value out of White Stupor when your eco is just so small. This is going to bloat your military quite a bit and give you some very unique units to breach. It's going to take time to build, but let's be totally real. In a game where you've lost this much economy, on both players, you need time. You're not going to rush an end here. And more support elements coming in. Whistling Arrows now on the way. Zerton, the only one left lagging behind, but he was sent food. He's ready now as well. This should be high armory. Ooh, we're going Spasskaya though. Now that's interesting. So let's dissect why. Their flank is a bit exposed. This protects them fully on the left side, which has, in fairness, been a very big focus point for the south side team. The other reason is, in fairness, high armory can be good, but one of the negatives here is because you're up against Mongols, shutter triggers. Shutter triggers gives the extra 0.5 range to Mongols, so they can actually win those trades. So I think that's what convinced Zerton that there's no point in high armory, is realistically his siege will get beat. Yeah, there's a lot of farm. Wait, what? Even the Mayans do not farm this steep. God damn. How does that just work? You just like clunk the crops and then just roll down the hill. Someone at the bottom holding a bag. Well, look. Wait. Wham? Sir, you're playing against HRE and you left 2 relics on the flat. Oh, no. This might be a problem because they're not reacting to it right now, right? Because Zerton just teched up. If Poppypaw gets these 2 relics, that's an insane amount of gold haul. Remember, that's an extra 320 gold a minute if he gets these 2. Army is now marching north, so Wham is looking to address that. And it looks like the Mongol force is going to be too slow. The walls are still blocking them out. Goodness gracious. Nice, we'll look to creep away. Keep him doing the dance here. I think the best thing Wham could do is pull these relics closer to home. This just feels way too far out. It's very dangerous what he's doing here. 320 gold in the late game when it all dries up is not a small amount. It's huge, actually. Especially for a guy who's been spamming Landsnecht to his heart's content. You are reading that number correctly, folks. This is 43 Landsnecht on the move. Oh my god. Wait, but both players have mangoes, right? I think we saw double mango load. Yeah, so there's 7 mangonels in total. You need to add in Siege. You need Culverins. Or Shutter Trigger Springles. I think realistically the Springles make more sense here. Cool time to move though. Have we got Elite Army Tactics as well? No. What? It's on the way. It's been queued up. Interestingly enough, Biology took priority here. Despite the fact that EAT would give you an extra 4 damage per Landsnet. Which then, when you buff up the Kurultai, wildly puts you just shy of 30 damage per cleave. So remember, 24 damage, then you add an extra 20%. So 4.8. You're at 28.8 damage per Lansk. Here's the funny part, folks. He has Inspired Warrior Tech, so if he adds in Prelates again, he gets more tanky, and then that's enough damage to put him past 30 per swipe. Reminder that Elite Musafadi only have 135 health. Even with Elite Army Tactics, that's not going to help. And yeah, the funny part is Puppy Paw has been neglecting Bloomery. Which is kind of funny because Bloomery scales really well with Elite Army Tactics. We're now on the backside here. Looks like we've got a wraparound. Kurultai has yet to be involved in a single fight, folks. Finally, it's getting its time to shine. To kill these 5 Musafadi. Okay. Yeah, it's been a game of dodge, right? Look at this dive, though. Going for the main TC. And this is interesting. The mangoes are on the way, though. Big mistakes could be made here by Puppy Paw. He needs to get out! Uh-oh. Heavy damage. Didn't lose many in the initial flurry, but they're all injured now. Puppy Paw, overzealous in his approach here. Could turn around for the fight, but it's not worth what the mango's chasing. Damage is being done north side, though. It's a dive into the farms. And immediately torches her out for the Fort the Huntress. They're Benny Hills on him. Like, this is so smart, right? They're playing mass mangoes. They don't have mobility on their side. It takes them so long to react with Siege. You can just do this. Keep down. Dive in deeper. Another keep to be found. I can't believe he's doing this with lands. Like, they're not even really fighting with them. And all of a sudden, the support player becomes the Giga player. So much damage in this raid. So many farms idled out. Ranch is now being denied as well. Villagers on the backside have been found as well. Zertin has quite the blocker to deal with here. He's gone Streltsy, he's gone Mangoes, but he just can't stick on any of these targets. This is pure chaos, and I love it. This is how you play against a very strong static comp. Just don't engage with it directly. Mango count now up to 8. They chose correctly. Landsneck are, funnily enough, still being mass invested into. I'm surprised by this. I thought it'd be a full Horseman switch by now. Apparently not. But look at the other side. Wham! He actually is going! Needs to be careful. That's a lot of Musafadi. A handful of Landsneck could wipe this. They are swiping left harder than you would on Tinder right now. But it doesn't seem to be enough. Musafadi number's still too high. What a move. What a counter-offensive from Wham. Military force outnumbers 3-1. This game is absolutely insane. Raids are still going, though. Looks like Streltsy is going to start to mop up what's left here. A deep dive by Puppy Paw and Corvinus, but now with their eco at risk, their military force, as small as it is, they've got problems. Production is getting camped right now. Looks like the last of the Musafadi wave is going to fall. Still damage being done to the reboot for Puppy Paw. And a lot of gathering ahead of Wham. It's going to take a while to re-access the Fulani. Look at the numbers. He just threw away so many Musafadi, and he only has about 500 food income a minute. Guys, this is bad for Wham. Well, it looked like it was going to be a good trade. Would in a standard Malian game because you still have cattle. The cattle are all denied right now. He's got 0 value coming out of this Fulani. Oh my god, and somehow Corvinus is still here. In fact, they seem to have forgotten about him entirely. Folks, this adds up. Remember, Wham is 1 TC. Sorry, he added in a second, right? But he's down to 47 eco. Oh my god. 47 eco without Fulani. I really need to emphasize that. This is the most underwhelming Malian economy you're going to see in a long time this deep in the game. Musafadi are going to creep in again, though. shared gold gathering in the corner might get scouted out. You can already see the move down there by the Musafadi. This could be big. A pincher is coming in, though. And wham, losing this many troops when Yuriko is this weak. It can shut the door on you. He needs to be careful. Musafadi on the move. He has scouted out Corvinus' villages. Looking for the reveal. Unfortunately, it looks like Corvinus' army is quick enough to respond. Musafadi will look to run away. Archers getting some good strikes. The Landsneck touch them. They sneeze on them. It's going to be a weave to the south side. This is buying time for a reboom at home for Corvinus, for Wamrava and Zertan. God knows they need it. Touches as well. Well, there's no trade because they both keep striking the backside of the bases, right? So it's kind of impossible from that point. There's also a lot of gold left over, especially for the north side team. Like, these veins can barely be tapped because the raids have been so consistently targeted up here. It's why Zertan and Wham both built their Imp Age defensive landmark on the west side of the base. This is a bit of an overreaction now, I actually think, from the south side team. It's good you caught out the raid, but sending everything like this is bad. Like, you need to start moving towards the enemy. Because if they get to buy time like this, they could be trading, they could be rebooming multi-TC, they could really be doing anything behind this. Because you're no longer attacking them. I'm sorry, what? The cheeky proxy racks in the south side corner from Zertan. Could add up, actually, over time. Definitely not an unexpected move here. Zertan has got elite army tactics coming, so men-at-arms are going to start to strike pretty hard. Front side, the Musafadi will just have to retreat behind the walls for the time being. Dude, most of this game has been 50 Landsnet from Puppypaw. This is just wild. I'm impressed that he still has gold to do this, by the way. Then again, when he's munching with 28 villagers, plus he has got, what was it, 4 relics in the end? I don't think he ever got more. Oh, wait. Ooh. We talked about this. He snuck it. And also, they see the trade. Oh, no. This is a double downer. The only upside right now is Puppypaw is not dropping that relic off, but this is huge, right? He should have been able to pull both relics back. Maybe one of them was split each way, but 5 relic HRE, man. That's how he's able to keep affording Lansk. Cleave's coming out. Mango will get dodged. However, all of a sudden, the support player has become the main story here. Corvinus now sitting real healthy. What a big boy he's become as well. Mainly just archers and spears, but scary enough. Weekly Powers also now moving up. Landsneck, they get the first cleave out. Big damage. Walls coming in, so trade is going to be denied. And that does mean that Zertan is on borrowed time here. Gold income is not going to last long against this. Horseman following this up. Man goes from the east side. Going to be focused on the north, though. Trying to take out the 2 of the Malians first. Mango hits a big. Archers will be struck upon, but the Culverins are now here. And they built no anti-siege. No, this is done. This is it. This is the break-in. This is the kill. One Culverin can dismantle everything here. And I know what people are going to say. Why no anti-siege? Because you can't against Mongols. Not with the risk of shutter triggers play. That kept them on Mangoes only. And now one Culverin can ruin the entire day. A lot of troops lost, but enough to break through. Second wave now coming in. More Horsemen, more Lansk. And a sweet farewell. We are seeing Zertan now with the counter-offensive, but this is the difference. This time around, Zertan has got the cannon emplacements to defend. He doesn't need to look home anymore. He just needs to look on to a firm victory for him and Puppypaw. Damn, what a cool game. I don't remember the last time I saw this many Landsneck built in a 1v1 or a 2v2. This was wild. Mangoes was a really cool idea by Zertan and Wham, but I think they just kind of got, to a certain degree, out-macroed. I think the relics mattered a lot more as the game went on. And this interesting target on the north side just kept denying long-term gold access. So there's always this creeping threat. And this is going to be the last stand. Front line quickly getting swiped down by those Lansk. Streltsy have at least got the static deployment, but I don't think it's going to be enough anymore. There's hand cannoneers and archers here from Corvinus. A new wave of horsemen is already being queued up and on the way. And there's really not much left at the front of Zertan's base anymore. Ooh. I think what I like most is the fact that Corvinus came back in as kind of like a core component here. He wasn't just a support player anymore. In fact, funnily enough, the Kurultai just kind of didn't even matter. It's just been sitting here for the last few minutes. Dude, this thing hasn't done anything this game. It just kind of walked around intimidatingly and everyone just walked away from it. But apparently that is a superpower in itself. 3-1 military advantage feels very hard to overcome at this stage. And Streltsy very hard to mass. With no front line left, I think this is going to be the moment they admit defeat. Zertan's about to get gap closed. Against marching drills, there's no retreat from this. And GG gets called before he has to say farewell to his gunner boys. Sick play with the HRE Mongol combo.